Kris Boyd wants Ibrox gutted and says the players have thrown Barry Ferguson under the bus. Chris Sutton's raging over Celtic's shock defeat, and Boyd's roasted Nicolas Kuhn with a savage wisdom teeth dig. A Swedish star's begging for a Rangers return, and Celtic's title party put on ice. Love the madness of Scottish football? Hit subscribe. We bring the chaos every day. No filters, just facts and fire. Well then, settle in because Kris Boyd has just gone full wrecking ball on his old stomping ground, and it's anything but polite. After Rangers' dismal defeat to Hibs, yes, another home loss. 5th in a row if you're keeping score, Boyd didn't just criticize, he detonated. The ex-striker didn't hold back, saying that whoever takes the reins at Ibrox this summer will need to gut the place from top to bottom. Not tidy up, not redecorate, gut it. Why? Because in Boyd's eyes, the current lot simply can't hack it. The pressure of pulling on that blue shirt is turning knees to jelly. He reckons too many players are treating the jersey like it's made of lead. The phrase, "the shirt's too heavy," got a proper workout here. And to be fair, when you're falling apart at home week after week, it's hard to argue. He admitted, yeah, there are good players in. They've popped up now and then in the big games. But the week in, week out grind of expectations, that's where the wheels come off. And with the 4-9 Earth Enterprises takeover looming, Boyd reckons it's time to clear house. All of it, not just a new manager with a nice smile and a clipboard. We're talking from the boardroom to the boot room. And speaking of managers, poor Barry Ferguson. The club legend's been handed the poison chalice, interim boss after Felipe Clement's joyless ball got binned. And Boyd doesn't see much hope for him hanging on to the gig. Unless, of course, he pulls off a miracle in Europe, which, let's be honest, feels more like fantasy football than real life at this stage. Boyd didn't miss with the finishing blow either. He basically accused the squad, not all of them, mine, of repeatedly throwing managers under the bus. Clement, before that Beal, and now Barry. The constant? The players. And if that doesn't scream dressing room problem, what does? Have the Rangers players given up on the badge? Or they just not good enough to wear it in the first place? Let me know in the comments. I'll be diving in with you. Well now, if you were expecting a title party at McDermott Park, you'll have to hold that champagne because St Johnstone have just pulled off the shocker of the season. Bottom of the table, with about as much confidence as a cat in a dog park, they've only gone and beaten Celtic. Clean, deserved. No dodgy decisions, no freak weather, just good old-fashioned effort. And a keeper in Andy Fisher, who apparently decided to turn into a brick wall for the day. And with that result, the green and white machine has stalled again. Not terminally, don't get me wrong. They're still sitting 13 points clear at the top, but there's a whiff of something not quite right around Lennoxtown these days. Post-New Year, Celtic have looked a bit off, like a Ferrari running on supermarket petrol. Chris Sutton, never one to sugarcoat, was pitchside watching it all unfold and, naturally, had a few things to get off his chest. Yes, he credited St Johnstone, who are still clinging on in the relegation scrap with white knuckles. But his real eyebrow raiser came when he questioned what's happened to Nicolas Kuhn. Now, Kuhn's story this season is like a Netflix series. Great start, bit of a wobble, and now we're not sure if it's going to get renewed. He started off struggling to adapt, then flourished, became undroppable, and now he's back in ghost mode. The stats look decent. 18 goals, 14 assists across all competitions. But anyone watching knows he's not quite clicking like before. Something's missing. Maybe confidence, maybe fitness, maybe he's just trying too hard to make every touch a highlight reel moment. And it leaves Brendan Rodgers with a bit of a riddle. Sure, they might still win a treble, but the way they're playing now, would you bet your Sunday roast on it? Rodgers is learning a lot about this squad in real time, and you better believe changes are coming this summer. Is Nicolas Kuhn just having a dip in form, or is he another flashy signing who can't handle the pressure when it really matters? Ah, the long and winding road of a young footballer. And in Robbie Ure's case, it winds all the way from Glasgow to Belgium, and now to the frosty pitches of Sweden. Now 21, Ure's name might not ring too many bells for the average Rangers fan, but give it time. This lad's journey could just be the sort that makes folks say, remember him, he always said he'd come back. Born and bred a Rangers fan, a product of their own academy, Ure only got a couple of first-team appearances before deciding he fancied more than just the odd cameo in a blue shirt. So off he went. First stop, Anderlecht's B team, the RSCA Futures, scored a dozen in 38 matches there. Respectable, but not quite forcing his way into the senior side. And then, a bit of a curveball. He's turned up in Sweden, signing for IK Sirius Fotboll in a deal worth £630,000. And how's he settling in? Not bad at all. 2 assists on his debut, with the gaffer calling him a classic 9. You know, back to goal. Good touch, sniffs out chances like a bloodhound. And let's be honest, if you're going to make a statement at a new club, that's the way to do it. But here's the real story. Despite now learning Swedish on the fly and settling into life in Uppsala, Ure's heart is still firmly parked at Ibrox. He's openly admitted that returning to Rangers would be a dream. Not just for him, but for his whole family, who bleed blue from head to toe. He's not lobbying for a move just yet, but make no mistake, that door is wide open in his mind. He even cited Yusuf Salik's move from Sirius to Cardiff as a bit of inspiration. Not every player takes the motorway straight to the top. Sometimes it's country lanes, ferries, and a bit of sat-nav confusion. But Ure's playing the long game and doing it his way. Should Rangers go out and re-sign Robbie Ure now while he's still cheap? Or is bringing back a player who left at 19 a step backwards for a club that needs to move forward? Let me know in the comments, because that one's bound to split opinion like a last-minute penalty decision at Hampton. Right then, things have officially gone dental in the world of Scottish football. Just when you thought the chat couldn't get any more bizarre, Kris Boyd has decided to take aim at Nicolas Kuhn, not with stats, not with tactics, but with his wisdom teeth. Yes, really. Who once looked like he was gliding toward Player of the Year honors, has recently gone from dazzling to disappearing act. And Boyd, in his usual tongue-in-cheek demolition style, used his Sky Sports platform to drop a zinger. Maybe somebody should check on Nicolas Kuhn. It looks as if his wisdom teeth have grown back in. Oof, that's cold, but also strangely creative. Now, let's rewind a bit. This isn't just random dental banter. Kuhn famously missed nearly 2 weeks of proper eating back in December due to wisdom tooth surgery. Lost weight, lost strength, and at the time, Celtic fans sympathized, understandably. But fast forward to now, and while the teeth haven't grown back, don't worry. Biology still checks out. The performances have certainly dropped off again. It's a frustrating situation for Rodgers. Kuhn has the numbers, but anyone watching can see the spark isn't quite there lately. Maybe he's burnt out. Maybe it's tactical. Or maybe, as Boyd cheekily suggests, there's just something intangible missing. Either way, pulling him off at the break in a must-win match speaks volume. And while Boyd's jab will rile a few Celtic supporters, you can bet a good chunk of them are also wondering what's going on with their once electric winger. Was Kris Boyd out of order for the wisdom teeth jibe? Or is he just saying what plenty of Celtic fans are already thinking but don't want to admit? Let the debate begin. So, the confetti cannons at Parkhead are going to have to sit in storage for just a little while longer. Celtic's unexpected stumble in Perth, not just a bump in the road, but a full-on pothole, means the title party's been delayed, and Brendan Rodgers will be well aware it's now all about timing and a bit of patience. Here's the math, nice and tidy. After losing the bottom of the table St Johnstone, still can't quite believe I'm saying that. Celtic remain 13 points ahead of Rangers. Both sides have 6 matches left, 18 points still on the table, and it's become a bit of a waiting game. Had Celtic won at McDermott Park, they'd have been looking at the chance to pop champagne against Kilmarnock next weekend at Celtic Park. But no, despite Rangers losing the Hibs and doing them a solid, Celtic couldn't capitalize. Now, the earliest they can mathematically clinch the title is after the split. Here's how it breaks down. Beat Kilmarnock next weekend? Cool, the gap could be 16 points. But if Rangers beat Aberdeen the next day, it's right back to 13. If Rangers lose to Aberdeen and Celtic win, it's all over. Job done. Trophy engraved. Rodgers can break into his post-match grin. But if both win, then we all look to the first round of post-split fixture. That's the earliest Celtic could finally be crowned champions. The twist? We don't even know where those post-split matches will be played yet. It's like waiting for someone to finish the jigsaw puzzle box before you know what picture you're even building. What we do know is that Celtic are due to face Rangers, Hibs, Aberdeen, Dundee United, and one of Hearts, St Mirren or Motherwell. Not exactly a holiday schedule. Now, no one's pretending the title's actually in doubt. The lead is comfy. The football's been mostly solid. Well, was solid before they started dropping results like toast butter side down. But there's still a sense of unease in the air. Rodgers will want this wrapped up sooner rather than later, not just for the silverware, but to give himself a few calmer weeks to assess, rotate, and plan for what's next. If Celtic do stumble again and let Rangers back into the title race, even slightly, would that be a bigger bottle job than anything we've seen in recent Scottish football history? You know what to do. Hit those comments and let the debates fly. Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Scottish football, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.